Welkom terug. Die Othandweni Family Care Centre in Soweto is 'n kinderhuis wat byna 100 kinders en babas huisves. Hulle is een van Joburg Child Welfare se sorgsentrums. Benewens finansies wat opgedroog het in die inperking, het aannemings ook tot stilstand gekom. Kinders kon nie naweke na gasouers toe gaan nie en opnames van dikwels erg getraumatiseerde en verwaarloosde kinders kon nie gedoen word nie.
Now with the COVID-19 situation, we haven't been able to to move children into adoptions. The courts have been closed. It's just been a complete slowdown, which means that the children aren't moving from places like Othandweni. If we had a child abandoned, it was very difficult because we couldn't go out and fetch the child. It was also very difficult because we didn't have anywhere to place the child. Our facilities were totally full. When we went into lockdown 4, then we were able to go out and do some work.
You look at that situation and think, and you wonder how are the kids coping in an abusive home? Because maybe, for example, if there was no coronavirus, there would be already probably like 5 admissions in a month or 4 admissions already in a month based on the problems the kids would be having, and there's nothing that can be done because of the situation. They have to stay in that abusive home if it is an abusive home.
Our granny program assists children in their early years. What we found is that children who are in a children's home, they have changing caregivers all the time. So today it's somebody looking after them, tomorrow it's another person. And as a result, they don't learn to bond. So if they leave the children's home at the age of 2 years, they haven't had that opportunity to bond with anyone, because one day it's this person and another day it's another face, and they don't learn to trust anyone, they don't learn to feel much for anyone. Where we have ladies from the community who we've trained on bonding and on developmental stages. So they come in 5 days a week and they are allocated 2 children. So when the potential adopters come here, then the granny is part of the transferring of the bond.
I, as a koko who came here, I didn't know the purpose and the big aim that I was playing for the development of a child. As I was still a young koko, I didn't see the importance of why a child must get all this attention. But the sooner I enter in the program, I've seen how important it is.
We did have some of the grannies coming here, and I think some of them actually stayed over because transport was difficult. The taxis were only running at certain times.
Yes, we had to change our behaviors a lot. For instance, as much as we were used to hug them, to kiss them, so we are no more doing that. But we are not distancing ourselves in such a way that they can feel that we are abandoning them. But you can see that they can't express themselves and ask what's happening. Why are these changes? Why are Kokos putting masks in the face? Why are Kokos every time moving away, washing hands?
I've been writing proposals to various organizations that just to provide us with masks. There are other people who came. And then we had just a family coming to provide, some sanitizers. Yeah, which was actually at least wonderful. But we didn't get a lot that we need. So we have been actually using our budget towards that. So we are playing a wait and see situation because we don't want our children to be affected by this. We are just trying our utmost best to ensure that, the safety of the children comes first.
Safety is in routine as well. So we do try and keep a good routine that they know that today is Monday and this is what happens on Monday. When that then gets taken away, it puts them out of sync again. And that safety that they felt has now gone as well. And it doesn't make sense to them. It's all very different to them. And our children are quite resilient.
We started to do programs where we try to teach them about the coronavirus. And also we were doing some life skills just to check are they understanding what is happening in this world, even though they were worried because they were not sure when it will end, so that they will go back to normal lives.
At the beginning of this pandemic, I called all of them in the meeting just to explain to them. But younger children, they just want to go out and, go to school and meet their friends. Unfortunately, with our schools here around townships, we don't have anything that is going on in the schools. So we have childcare workers that keep them busy with their programs. We've got a holiday program that is in place. They are also scared about this pandemic. So we don't have much of them asking for pass out.
Now, because they are not going to school and everything is closed, so we're having more interactions with them. I'm getting to learn more about them because you hardly see them. You see them for sessions, those sessions, group work, probably if one is visiting you at the office. But right now, we're having conversations. We just stand there and we talk.
We are fortunate in that we are being assisted with food from different donors. Monetary contributions or donations have, to a large extent, dried up completely. The future for us is extremely concerning because we are funded by the Department of Social Development, but that is a portion of our costs.
Daar is honderde kinderhuise in hierdie land wat van ons mees kwesbare kinders versorg en laat veilig voel. Hulle het groot uitdagings, soos jy sopas gesien het, emosioneel en finansiëel. Raak dus betrokke soos en hoe jy kan. Stuur vir ons 'n e-pos na Prontuit by aktueel.tv en laat weet ons wat jy dink of gesels saam op sosiale media. Tot volgende week, mooi bly.